So welcome to the session of Electric and Hybrid Vehicles, Module 3. In this session, we'll be discussing about the introduction to electric components used in hybrid and electric vehicles. So this is a syllabus of Module 3. We are having electric propulsion unit. The first topic is the introduction to electric components used in hybrid and electric vehicles. Then configuration and control of DC motor drives, configuration and control of induction motor drives. So first we will see the introduction to electric components. So before going to the electric components used in the propulsion system, we will just have a look on the different subsystems of electric drivetrain. Here we are having three subsystems. One is the propulsion subsystem, another is the energy source subsystem, and the third one is the auxiliary subsystem. And we know that in the energy source subsystem, we are having the energy source, the energy management unit, and the energy refueling unit. And here in the auxiliary subsystem, we are having auxiliary power supply unit, which is supplying the power to the auxiliaries like a power steering unit, temperature unit, stereo and all. So now coming to the electric propulsion subsystem, here we are having electronic controller, power converter, electric motor, mechanical transmission and the wheels. This electronic controller will be getting the signal from the brake and the accelerator, and accordingly coordinating with the energy management unit, it will give the control signals to the power converter and will control or coordinate the direction of the power flow from the energy source to the motor, or from the motor, that is from the wheels to the source. And we have a power converter which is acting as an intermediate between this energy source and the electric motor, which is having the switches, and by controlling the switches we can control the power flow. And this electric motor, it is the component which is converting this electrical energy obtained from this particular portion to the mechanical energy, or it is the main component which drives the wheels. So these are the blocks, or these are the components of a electric drivetrain. Now coming to the main electric components present in the electric propulsion subsystem, as we have seen, we are having mainly the electronic or the electric controller, a power converter and an electric motor. These are the electric components present in the subsystem, propulsion subsystem. Now the first thing is the electronic or the electric controller. This electronic controller consists of mainly a sensor circuit, an interface circuit, as well as a processor. So the processor is a hardware part. It can be a microprocessor, controller, or the DSP, and it is where we are writing all the control algorithms for controlling purpose. And in the sensor unit will measure the quantities like voltage, current of the energy storage, or the flux, or the torque, or the speed of the vehicle. These things are the measurable quantities which are measured by the sensor circuit or the sensor of the electronic controller. And this according to the signal, this will be converted to the voltage signal or electrical signal. And the interface circuitry which is present in the electronic controller, that interface circuitry that will process or will condition the signals and will give to the processor. Again, after the control action, the output signals or the output is again processed by this interface circuitry, and that is given to the power converter. Sometimes it is amplified and given to the power converter. So it consists of a sensor circuit, and interface circuitry, as well as a processor. And in the power converter and in the electronic controller, we can have different logic or different controls like variable voltage, variable frequency control, field orient control, fuzzy control, etc. And in the power converter, it can be operated in a chopper mode or inverter mode, depending upon which type of motor we are using over here. And as you know, this power converter can have be of different switches like IGBT, MOSFET, GTO, MCT, BJT, etc. And depending upon the control signal it obtained from the electronic controller, this power converter will maintain or will control the power flow from the energy source to the motor, or from the motor back to the source during the regeneration. And in the electric motor, we are having different types of electric motor like DC motor, induction motor, switched reluctance motor, permanent magnet synchronous motor, brushless motor, hybrid motors, etc. And here in the electric motor, we need to analyze the force or the force acting or the temperature conditions, or we'll be having finite element method analysis to control or to analyze the motor parameters. So this three, that is the electric or the electronic controller, power converter and the electric motor, these three are the main electric components of an electric propulsion subsystem. And when you select the components of a subsystem, it mainly depends upon three factors. The first one is the driver expectation, that is like how much acceleration we want, or maximum speed, or what is the expected range and all those things. And the vehicle constraints like volume, whether we need that vehicle as a heavy vehicle for a public transport or for carrying the weight and all those things. And also it depends upon the energy source, like which type of battery we are having or which type of source we are having. So the choice of the components of the electric propulsion subsystem, it depends upon this driver expectation, vehicle constraints and the energy source. So these are the different responsibilities of different components that we have already seen. And now coming to the classification of motors. So motors can be basically classified into two types, the commutator motor and the commutatorless motor. So coming to the commutator motor, it is actually the DC motor, and the commutatorless motor, that means it comes all other motors. And this DC motor again can be classified into self-excited and separately excited motor. And in self-excited we are having series, shunt, compound, and in separately excited we are having field excited, that is the field winding can be given an excitation, or we can use a permanent magnet for creating the magnetic field. And under commutatorless motor there comes the induction motor, which is of two types, a slip ring induction motor, squirrel cage induction motor, or it can be of a synchronous motor where we are having a wound rotor, that is on the rotor will be having the windings on to which the excitation is given, or we can have a permanent magnet on the rotor for creating the magnetic field, or there are synchronous reluctance motor where there is no windings or permanent magnets. Then another classification is a brushless DC motor, which is also a type of synchronous motor. And here we are having a trapezoidal back EMF instead of a sinusoidal back EMF. And then another important choice is switched reluctance motor, where we are making use of the principle of reluctance for the working. And also other types like permanent magnet hybrid types are also present. Now, what is when we are selecting a motor or when we are talking about a motor used in electric vehicle, what is the main difference between the motors used in electric vehicles as well as the industries? So the one thing is that the maximum torque that is required by the EV motor is about 4 to 5 times as that of the rated torque, because in the industrial motors and all we need maximum of twice the rated torque, whereas here, since we are having conditions like temporaries or sudden acceleration, hill climbing, etc., the torque requirement is high over here. And also regarding the speed, also it is desired to achieve about 4 to 5 times the base speed, whereas in the industrial motors it is generally achieved up to twice the base speed. And another important change or the difference between EV motors and industrial motors is that this EV motors should be designed according to the vehicle driving profiles or according to the driver's habits or expectation, whereas the industrial motors, they are designed for only for a particular working condition. And this EV motors, they require high power density. That means for them the size is a matter, because it should be carried, size and weight is a matter, since it should be placed in the vehicle which is to be or it should be carried along with the vehicle. Whereas in the case of when we consider a motor which is used in the industry, there actually we can make a compromise among the power density, efficiency and cost with efficiency, because there the weight or size is not that matter. And also the CV motors need desire to have high controllability and high accuracy and good dynamic performance compared to the industrial motors. And also, last but not the least, the CV motors need to be installed in the mobile vehicles with which is capable to withstand all the harsh operating conditions like bad weather, frequent vibration, temperature, and all those things. Whereas industrial motors are expected to be kept in a particular condition or only statically in a particular place. So that is not that much consider. That is not that concern in the case of an industrial motor. So these are some of the differences between the motors used in EVs and the industries. So now we will go through the different types of motors. So first coming to the commutator motors or the DC motors. So just go to the construction. So as you know, in the DC motors we are having the stator outside and the rotor inside. And in the stator you can have the pole shoe, pole core on which these windings are wound, and you can see the connection to the armature windings through the brush, commutator segments, and all those things. So once we give a supply to this windings, you can see that will be like a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, and this will be experiencing a force, and as a result of which this winding starts rotating in the inside the stator. Okay, and when we say the DC motor, here this type of motors, their technology is much mature and this control is very simple. But the main problem associated with this DC motor is regarding the commutator, regarding the maintenance of commutator, or the problems associated with the commutators. Now coming to the induction motors, it is having a moderate or a good efficiency, power density, and all, and also there is no commutator, so it is more reliable, and we can say the maintenance free when you compare with a DC motor. But when you take the control of this type of motors, it is a bit complicated or a bit complex than a DC motor. We have to use different controls like V/F or variable voltage, variable frequency control, or force field oriented control. Like such controls need to be used in the case of an induction motor. Now coming to the synchronous motor. So synchronous motor, if you remember, it is having a stator and it is having number of slots in which we are placing the windings and the rotor. And the rotor can be of two types. It can be salient or non-salient. So if it is salient pole, the poles will be projected and the field windings will be placed over here. And if it is cylindrical or non-salient, there won't be any projected poles like this. Okay, so two types, it can be based on the rotor construction, and again based on how this if we are not using the windings, we are using the permanent magnet. Based on how we are placing the permanent magnet on the rotor, there can be surface mounted permanent magnet synchronous motor like this, where we are mounting the magnet on the surface of the rotor, and there is again interior permanent magnet synchronous motor where the permanent magnets will be placed inside the rotor. So that is regarding the PMSM type of motor. There is again another type of motor which is called as a synchronous reluctance motor, where we are not using any windings or the magnets, but it is just working on the principle of reluctance. So coming to the brushless DC motor, this is a type of synchronous motor, we can say that. And here the difference is that it is not here for this motor we are not having a sinusoidal supply, but a switched supply will be given according to the rotor position, and here the back EMF will be in the form of a trapezoidal shape, whereas in the case of a usual permanent magnet synchronous motor, it is a sinusoidal in shape. So you can see the poles are there, so the supply is given, and there will be a Hall sensors over here, and the sensors will be sensing the position and will be allowing or will be giving the feedback to the control circuit in such a way that the excitation can be made properly to get a continuous rotation for this particular rotor. So when you just take this brushless DC motor, it is also having a higher power density and all those feature, but still we are using permanent magnet like a synchronous motor. We are having, or we are using the permanent magnet in this type of motors also. Now when you come with another type of motor, which is a switched reluctance motor, which is getting much interest in the research fields now. So this type of saying about this type of motor is that we are not using any permanent magnet or the rotor windings or the windings on the rotor, but it is just working on the principle of reluctance. So reluctance, as you know, it is the opposition to the magnetic flux, or here the rotor poles will be trying to align with the stator poles in such a way that when it once aligned with the stator poles, the reluctance will be minimum. So it will try to align in the minimum reluctance position. So based on this, this type of motor is working. And one of the highlight is that here, since we are not using any permanent magnet, we are just using the reluctance principle. The construction is very simple and cost wise also, and also this type of motor is having a very good fault tolerant capability. And some of the issues associated with this type of motor is the acoustic problems or the noise and vibrations and torque ripples. And there's also the main problems associated with this switched reluctance motors.